Hello and welcome to another episode of The Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph,
And I'm Elle.
Nathan.
and the Glasses Gang is together again here to discuss a riveting chunk of Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire, the series. This handsome man behind me, his Black Louis with the hair. Okay, guys. I have a revised opinion. You may not like it because I haven't said it to you yet. But the reason why I texted you and said I'm dying to talk about Claudia is because suddenly, suddenly, after Lestat and Louis becoming parents, or like not even that, they got just really domestic. It got a little camp. All of a sudden, I understood where some people were coming from when they said this is the opposite of the books and why they didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm not saying I'm not having a good time here. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is maybe I was a little bit harsh on the reviewers.
Well, we were only going off the first episode then. How what do you mean by that though with Claudia?
Because they were like the Brady Bunch. They were like the Brady Bunch, okay? Okay, but it was just so fucking campy. And I like camp. But we talk all the time about how scary Lestat is because he's fucking terrifying. Like
Mm-hmm.
he is a menace. He's a menace to society. And like, we like it, but like he's an asshole. Um and then I feel like it just kind of blunted the horror of everything for a second there
Mm-hmm.
when they were like showing them as this hilarious gay couple and not like I don't know. But then it was fine. It was fine after that. But just for a second, everything seemed like really silly. And when Claudia came into the picture, first of all, I didn't know she was in Avatar. I didn't know she was in Avatar, and I just saw Avatar with my family over Christmas. And I was wondering what other stuff that she had been in. It just felt like her accent was bad. And that's not her fault. But it feel I'm not explaining myself very well at all. It just so in the book she's a kid. She's a child. Like she's
Mm-hmm.
little, right? And I felt like it was a very important thing for them not to make her that young. So I'm really glad that they did that. I feel like I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking myself into a circle. But just the I don't know, her portrayal of Claudia at first, maybe it was my mind trying to like mush the two together because it wasn't fitting very well for me and it just made the whole thing seem kind of silly, and then it started to change, and maybe that is their intent in the way that they
Well, I think that there's a lot of elements to this storyline that makes it a little clunkier. I mean, nowhere in the book do we see like the vampires grappling with their sexuality the way that Louis does in this. Like he is
yeah
literally having a crisis. And I mean, yeah, they would be having a crisis in that time frame. It's perfectly normal for a human, but it's not anything that we saw in the books or in anything else. And I think that's a lot different. Um, I do think though that this Lestat, I'm scared of this guy. I was not scared of fucking little ass. I could punt that bitch across the fucking continent, and the only fight they really got in the movie was like a slap fight. And it seemed like Louis and Lestat were really
yeah
evenly keeled there. And this one,
yeah
we saw that Lestat could end both of them. And that was terrifying.
yes. One of the most interesting things that they did in this show in terms of their relationship was Louis talking about like the cloud gifts,
Mm-hmm.
because it really, and like the scene, it really showed how fucking strong Lestat is and made it a point like he doesn't tell everybody what he's got. Like he doesn't show everybody his cards, and not even Louis. Like, and Louis is literally his husband. Like they're husbands in this show. Like
I think the other thing, like I kind of see what you mean about Claudia. I think it's clunkier because she is older. So for me, like the fact that she
yeah,
like went off and went to college and stuff and could pass in college, pass as a college student, that's very different from both the book and the OG movie, because she's a little girl, and I know they made, like you said, they made that decision for a reason, and I agree with it. It's just, it's very different, and it's a different dynamic.
I think it was really good to give a lot of story, like a lot of the dynamic to build between Lestat and Louis. The story between Lestat and Louis, and like the disillusion of Louis's like human family dynamic was really interesting. I thought it was a horrible scene when he went to. I wish he would have just stopped visiting his family, honestly, because once you're a vampire, like those two things clearly don't mix. And the scene with the baby, my glasses are fogging up because I'm nervous. The scene with the baby,
Yeah, that didn't shake
I
me.
thought he.
It didn't shake me.
No,
I could not imagine if the writers had written that as being a thing. I just wouldn't buy it. 100%. That's not Louis. That's not this version of Louis. That's not that version. It's not any version of Louis. Louis would not do that. That's not who Louis is as a person.
very true, very true. So I'm glad, but it still just made me nervous. I think maybe because I put myself in the sister's shoes. I only have one brother. We look exactly alike. He's just bigger than I am, and
I
he's
know
the
how that
baby.
is.
And I don't know.
Me and Nathan look
Oh, yeah.
exactly alike, so
Yeah, except my fucking brother can see. Yeah, like he doesn't need glasses. And I literally asked my mom, like, how did you make a kid who can see? I don't get it.
my
Am I a little
parents could.
jealous? Maybe.
But hey, Nate doesn't need to wear glasses most of the time. I'm the one who does, so.
I don't
Oh, you
need.
slightly seen bitch.
You slightly seeing bitch?
I mean, I wouldn't like flex too much on that anymore because
It
I
got
can't see
worse.
shit.
Oh.
But yeah, fucking old.
As we get older and we're not vampires.
I mean, I feel like I'm a vampire. I wouldn't go that far, but pale as fuck. Don't like
True.
crosses. Don't like garlic.
I love garlic.
I
but
love
I'm also
garlic,
pale.
dude. I could sit and eat
I'm a
like
garlic
whole
girl.
fucking cloves of garlic. I don't give a shit, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I can't toss some shits back, but like, I love.
I
Bacon,
ate
two
like a
cloves, and I'll add.
mildly boiled entire clove of garlic accidentally the other day, and I was just
Oh,
like, oh,
yeah.
that's kind of strong. Oh well.
Your immune system needed it. It's fine.
Yeah, I
It's
was
fine.
sick.
It's good for you.
Is it like vampire lore in general that if they eat food they get sick, or is that just what we do in the shadows?
I was
No,
wondering that too.
it's in here too,
It is.
isn't it? Like,
Well, he gets
I'm pretty
offered
sure
the
there's
gumbo, but he
moments.
doesn't eat it, so I didn't know if he.
Yeah.
I don't know that it makes them sick. I can't remember, but I think it tastes like ash in their mouth. And so,
Oh,
like,
okay.
why put that shit in your mouth?
Yeah,
Like,
I
I could
do
eat dirt, but why the fuck am I gonna do that?
Man, I don't know. That kind of like makes the dark gift not so gifty. Fuck that. I need to be able to eat shit.
There's a lot of stuff that makes the dark gift not so gifty. Okay, let's not stop it at food tasting like dirt. Oh no.
At least they could still bang because there's
Yeah, these ones can bang. This is. You can't
That
tell
was
me
also a
Lestat
choice.
is 100% fucking every sandwich he fucking eats.
Okay, I am convinced that Anne Rice's level of horniness just prevailed throughout her entire life, and she said, "You know what? We've casted some really fucking hot guys. Son, cover your ears. Let's make them fuck." They're fucking.
Lestat sees one and
I don't
he's
know if
like, dick sandwich, let's go.
Absolutely, they were gung ho.
I don't know if I'd agree that it got worse with age, because reading that witching hour, the 6th chapter, yeah.
Okay, I'm very behind because my book got returned, and there is a line of horny South Floridians waiting to read it. So I have to get my own. Working on it.
The dialogue in this show is so fucking good. It is so on point, so amazing, especially these two, Lestat and Louis. Like, I was talking before we hit record about my favorite part of episode 2. He's at this new business and with an appraiser who's working with his business partner, Louis is. And you know, he says like, you did a good job or something, but he says it in that condescending way that the white men speak to Louis. And Louis like, well, it's, you know, it's unfortunate he should have to dabble in fuckery that night. And then he eats him. And then Lestat, as he's like, why did you fucking eat somebody on our premises, is just like, gets so frustrated with him. He just starts cursing in French and then yells, you are a library of confusion. And let me say, there's my relationship goals. I want a man who is a library of confusion.
Didn't I say that's what I love in a man? Like,
obliviousness is what you want. I mean, a library of confusion, I feel like, is a little bit more interesting, you know? I want a whole bunch of different ways of you fucking with my head, you know? I never want to know exactly how you're going to fuck with my head. Just find a different way.
I would pee my pants if Lestat started cussing at me in French. I'm just putting it out there. You say wouldn't eat me.
I think we would pee our pants anyway, because we're not Louis. He's not, you know, giving us the dark gift. We are definitely dick sandwiches at best in that situation. So
God, that's all I ever wanted to be in life, was a dick sandwich.
New t-shirt, dick sandwich.
Dick sandwich? Cheese sluts, dick sandwich.
Once again, like, I haven't read the book, so I don't have like much of the backstory that you guys have, but I feel like these episodes really set up the whole like shittiness of Lestat really well. The whole thing where he's like, I have a fuck buddy, but you don't. And then he gets all pissed off when he catches him with his friend Louis. Yeah, I think that's where one of the fights started.
Not the biggest one, that, and I thought it was really interesting that they showed this guy that obviously knew Louis from back in the day, and so it really sets that Louis has been struggling with this for his whole life. It wasn't just this sexy, foreign, rich guy came in and like started setting off something that he didn't know was there. He knew it was there. I really liked that. It wasn't like that in the book because he was like, you know, like married young.
Yeah.
To a lady, right?
Well, also, I just don't think the book addressed sexuality at all. It was just like, they're companions.
No.
It doesn't matter what gender they are. They're just together for a while, and then they decide to go with other vampires at that point. And then this grapples a lot more with like human problems.
Yes, that is where like that goes right into like them being super domestic. The way that he found Claudia, like the whole fire scene and the way he busted in there and saved her, I really love that. But he was gonna leave Lestat fast, right? He was just gonna go, and that used that against him, which he did that in the book too, but it was just different, you know. And I think that these are good differences. But we have to talk about the fight. Like, I'm dancing around the fight, but the fight between them was like a lot for me. Claudia left, rightfully so. And I do think that the diaries were a nice touch because her inner monologue is necessary. From the outside you can't tell what she's going through, like that struggle of like who's gonna love her, and after killing the boy that she like had her first experiences with. That's fucking traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
And like her aging and like it's not okay for this group of person to be attracted to me because of this reason. That's a lot on top of her being, you know, murdery. That's a lot. All of that's a lot. And Lestat has like no patience for the way that other people deal with things. And there's no way that he could understand her,
Mm-mm.
like any part of her, because he's this selfish white French man, you know?
Yeah, and not only is he like a selfish white French man, he was upper class his entire existence. So
Very privileged.
he was born with a silver spoon. He always like kind of moved along like the most like illuminated in society, like musicians and artists and all this stuff. Like we see like throwbacks in this series to Nikki, who is
Mm-hmm.
his like first boyfriend, and he doesn't have any patience because he's never had to have patience. And I think that that's a very
Mm-hmm.
accurate portrayal of Lestat. Way better, like way
Mm-hmm.
more thought out than that the first movie. And I mean, I can talk shit about the first movie all
Fair.
I want, but it's only a fucking movie. This is a series.
But
It was just, I don't know, so well done. So many things. Again, I'm just like always wowed when I go back and rewatch something because I'm like, how well thought out, especially Lestat is. I guess like Louis is a little bit new territory in some
mm-hmm.
respects, but the character's really sharp too. So I'm on the fence with how I feel
True,
about
true, true.
Claudia, though. I just don't know about how I feel with the
I
older Claudia. I understand why they did it. I agree with it. I just don't know how I feel.
I know I'm exactly the same, but I'm exactly the same way. I just can't articulate the reasons why I feel so like unsure about her. It just doesn't seem like a I don't know, like a genuine portrayal. Like the scene where so she starts getting careless before she leaves, like she's just dumping bodies in shallow graves really close to home. Like there are rules. And that
Mm-hmm.
leads the police to come into the home. Like she lets them in and she was like drinking. And that whole scene was really fucking stupid to me. And maybe that's what it is. And I just wasn't remembering. That whole scene was stupid. Like she's running around, hiding body parts, hiding her. It just felt very like could have been a teen sitcom about vampires, you know, like the Wednesday
Mm-hmm.
show. And I'm fresh off of watching Wednesday, and I was surprised that it had
Yes.
magic in it. I think it's exactly that. Like, it's good for her to be a teenager because, you know, reasons. But the way they wrote her in some ways was just, it didn't mesh with the more mature ways that they had her behaving, you know?
Yeah.
And I get that she's growing. It must be awkward to grow up and be stuck in a teenage body, but it's just not as good as
I'm
Lestat and Louis'
very
character.
confused too about the passage of time here, where like in the
Yes.
movie it was very clearly like 30 years, like she's 30 years old in a child's body, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
really get that same like clarity here, especially because they were still
No.
interacting with guys that they were
His
interacting with
family.
in the beginning. Yeah, and his family, the alderman
Yeah.
and those kind of guys too, which the alderman finally gets what he
Yeah.
deserves.
And fuck those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Respectfully. But okay. So
Disrespectfully.
oh yeah. Fuck those guys. Disrespectfully. I'm just so used to following it with respectfully because I'm saying, you
I
know,
know. I just feel
not
like
fuck
they
you
can be
to
disrespectful.
racist. They can for sure. Okay. So before we talk about that, the fight between Lestat and Louis. Lestat is so shitty. He's so fucking shitty because yeah, he has this bitch that he's seeing on the side, but no sides for Louis. Louis doesn't care about sides at this point because he's devastated that Claudia left and shut him out of her mind, as she should. She was mad. But, you know, she comes back for Louis because she sees how sad she is, or he is. And it was a sad scene when his sister left him in the cemetery, but also like it was way overdue. I'm not sure why they kept trying. He like everything that's happening is scary. You know, if it was going on in my family's life, I can't say what I would do, but it's, you know, I wouldn't keep trying. It's highly abnormal, especially for the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Lestat's like, well, no. And he manhandles Louis like to a degree that is just so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so much. And then after he like just gives him the fucking business, he takes him up into the sky and like drops him from so high up.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is I'm sitting there watching and I texted and like there was a domestic violence warning on this episode. And then you just really think like they're a couple having a domestic violence dispute and they're vampires.
I think the coziness of their relationship and the humanness of their relationship is the reason why they put that warning thing on there, that little bumper, versus because the violence was like out of this world fantastic, like not it was supernatural violence. But I think that because of the way that they're living and how close the relationship is and how it's emotionally abusive, I think that that's where that little thing came on, because I think it could trigger people.
It's really different.
Yeah.
Like
it's a lot heavier.
It just,
like it's super dramatic, really heavy,
but definitely like miles away from the movie. And yeah, if you like the movie, stick to the movie. You will find no peace here unless you're looking for racist pieces of shit to be owned disrespectfully.
Yes.
Because that was the best. Like
that was satisfying, I have to say.
These white men know, like he's not dumb. He's a very smart, savvy businessman, and they continuously try to take advantage of him and think that he'll be amicable. When he stops playing nice, then they pull the, well, you're black, so you're gonna do it card. And he's like, whoa, motherfucker,
you know, I feel like this is such a good example of Louis' like infinite patience and like the warmth of the character and how good of a person he was, because I would have eviscerated those motherfuckers on the first day. Day one, I would have killed them bitches. So
literally,
this man is so patient and such a good person that he would like grapple with that for so long before finally losing his cool. Just saying.
He did. And he did. And I said the way that it would have been on site for me, the way that I would have eaten every white man in the village that night.
First night I get turned, dude. You're all dog food.
Shit.
And we're not doing dick sandwich either. You're just getting ate. No one's getting fucked.
You're just a cheese slut.
You're just a cheese slut.
Sometimes I forget because I'm black. And like the racially charged just interactions in these episodes, sometimes I do forget that this is Louis. It is Louis. Even though he has black skin and a black past in this movie, it is Louis, and he is that ever patient, ever emo.
Sweet boy. He's a sweet boy.
That. He is, but
Louis.
this is justified. And the fact that he reeled himself in even, okay, but it was very incredibly colorful to have this man hanging on a gate with a whites only sign on it. Like, please, give me more of this.
Yes.
Give it. It's giving, okay? And really put, I'm not going to finish that. She put everything she had wow, like into you. You know.
I realized what you were gonna do there, and I want to say I support.
She did that.
She did that.
Our lady, she fucking did that. I can't wait to see where this goes, although I am terrified based on what you've been saying about the end. I have no idea where this is going. Do they leave New Orleans? Because I feel like they should have been left.
They don't leave New
No.
Orleans in this series. It doesn't end
Okay.
it doesn't end anywhere close to where the first movie did.
I am so lost, but that's okay because this is meant to be a journey. Like, this is meant to be a journey. I've always felt like it would be really hard for them to put everything into a movie. So they have to make shortcuts where they have. There's no excuse for Queen of the Damned. There's just not. There's just not.
I have to say though, I am hardcore looking forward to this beautiful motherfucker playing like that book, the Queen of the Damned book,
Oh yeah.
being the fucking rock star. Y'all better
We
keep
love
this
that shit.
going. That's all I can say. Keep this going. Don't get canceled. Let's go. Let's fucking roll.
Christopher Rice would never. Christopher Rice wouldn't allow it. I feel like they'll keep going. I feel like there's no way that they wouldn't keep going with this show. Like, Netflix is on another level of bullshit and they're canceling all kinds of shit, but like this is different. This is AMC. This is AMC Plus. Okay?
What do you think, Nate? He made a noise like he'd heard something.
Oh
I
shit.
just like how people reacted to the first episode. I mean, I don't know, like in general, because a lot of those people probably tuned out, but
Yeah.
I just wonder what the ratings are like on this show.
I'm
Or
wondering
the views,
too.
I guess, at this point.
But
Do you
also
have any insight?
because it is on a streaming platform, like I don't know what the game is there. Like, I don't know what numbers they would need to keep it up, but they created a whole production company for this in Mayfair. Like, that Immortal Universe is an entire production company they created to do Anne Rice's stuff. And again, I'm going to be personally affronted if they decide to cancel this shit again. These motherfuckers have had stab after stab at this IP, and I need to see it developed. Like, I just need to.
Right here it says they renewed Interview for a Vampire for a second season before the first season even began. So
Ew. See?
I'm gonna need several because I need to at least get to like past where I'm at in the reading. I need Queen of the Damned. I want to see what they would do with Maris.
I want to get into the Talamasca. Like, I want to see what's in it. Like, no, they have to keep going. They have to. Like, Anne Rice will come back from the dead and she will haunt you. Do you want those problems? Do you? Because I wouldn't. Like, she's probably picked up a thing or two living in fucking New Orleans for forever. Like, she probably has friends in high places. What with her hosting the freaking vampire ball every year of her life.
Also wonder, like, so when we looked at those reviews last time, was that just of the first thing, or was that people that watched the whole thing? Do you know, Nate?
That's what we need to find.
That was just the first. I think that was before the whole season came out, so I think that was just the first episode.
Okay. I'm just wondering if they're still so butthurt about it.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I doubt those people are gonna watch any further if they're mad about.
Yeah,
I mean, it gets way blacker and way gayer, friends. Like, way so much gayer.
Way more woke.
I mean, I think that we could argue out of all of this that the character, I think instead of Louis being turned black being a problem, if anything, it would be Claudia, because again, it's not just that, it's just the whole character, the way the whole character is constructed. It's very different feeling. It's a different vibe, and I'm not sure how it really fits, but it might. I
agree, but I think it could have gotten a little sticky with a white teenage girl and a black man in the household. Like,
I get that.
Maybe they didn't want to. Yeah.
I also feel like there might be stuff we are not seeing yet that'll play in later too.
Don't know how to say this because I don't want to no spoilers or anything, but the ending, the very ending, how did that match up to the book? You know what I'm talking about?
I'm allowed to have heart palpitations.
If you're talking like nothing that's going on in the meta thing, like
No.
Okay.
Sorry, more like the character that they introduced at the end. Did they change the race or anything there?
Kind of. The character is not anything like it is in the book, but neither is it in the first movie. We'll put it that way.
Okay. So
So
people probably won't get butthurt about that.
No, I don't think they'll get butthurt about it like any more
Is it
than
Armand?
anyone. Yes, all right. Yes, she guessed it. Yes. And we'll just say I knew who
Shit.
Armand was in episode 2. The beginning of episode 2, there was a scene there. I fucking knew that bitch was Armand. I was angry about it because Nathan's like, oh, they introduced a new character at the end. And so I thought it was a whole new character and it threw me off.
I need to just
I don't know.
finish episode
You
6
do.
and watch 7 instead of going back to episode 2 like my mind wants me to do.
Yep. It's very obvious. I when I rewatch it, I'm like, that's exactly the point when I was like, I know who Armand is. Very first scene of episode 2. There's an interaction and I'm like, well, I know who Armand is. But
No, like no, I'm dying right now. Please, I need to put all the pieces of my brain back together because I'm watching it tonight. I'm gonna get high
I knew
first.
it when that was revealed. I screamed I knew it because Nate kind of threw me off the trail a bit.
And then I'm gonna have to wait. This is gonna kill me. I just know it. And then I'm gonna have to wait for the freaking next seasons to come out.
Oh,
This
I know.
is why I don't watch TV shows.
Yep.
This final thoughts that aren't me shrieking or fogging up my glasses.
This is your chance, Nathan. You haven't really got a word in edgewise again. I'm sorry.
Shine.
I don't know. I'm trying to once again like put in perspective what 2, 3, and 4 was. A lot of the earlier episodes were just kind of setting up how much of a piece of shit Lestat is and how manipulative he is towards Louis and like that aspect, which I don't remember Tom Cruise being that much piece of shit, but maybe
he was
it's
just
just
more
been
like
so long since I've seen that movie.
he was just
You're
more
just
like a
too
brat.
distracted by the fact that he's wrong. Yeah, he's very petulant. He's like, I don't know. He's just petulant. He's not scary. And this was that. Look at him. Just look at him.
Yeah, exactly.
With his glass nails, and like he could blink and explode you. Like
he's gonna make a dick sandwich out of you. You know it.
Exactly.
Like literally, like a dick, like a whatever is bigger than a foot long. Like not just a regular sandwich. This went somewhere else. I'm sorry.
He would destroy Grandpa Highcock. Just absolutely destroy
A
him.
yard long.
God.
Yard long.
He would flick that bitch. A yard long. A dick yard.
The log jammer, bitch.
That.
Log splitter.
Here we go.
But his imagine. I just feel like if you were, because his hunting habits are laid out like in like minute detail in these books, right? Like you know what he's doing. So just imagine, let me set the tone for you. You're on a trip to New Orleans. You've never fucking been there, right? And it just happens to be one of the times where he's ooting a boot, right? Just to be in Lestat's presence, like the little hairs on the back of your neck and your arms would stand up and you would be like, oh no, I don't know what's happening, but I'm in the presence of like danger. And then that's it. Your life's over. Unless he loves you. And then he will make you miserable for a long, long time. And then he'll come back around and do it again because it's forever.
I have an idea. Salt and Carry On My Wayward Son.
They wouldn't stand a chance. Like, they wouldn't stand a chance. I love Dean, but like, he would
Summon the Winchesters.
his match. Not even with that fucking knife. Not even with the gun. Them shits couldn't kill Lestat, I'm telling you. He would like survive decapitation out of spite.
The gun that could kill God couldn't kill Lestat.
No.
Damn.
Yes, probably.
Damn.
But like,
Girl.
just barely. You know what I mean? Like,
who
you
could
wouldn't
kill?
be certain at all. Oh, ooh.
Dollman.
Dollman could kill him. Space gun. See, this is the problem we had in our
Blow
last
up.
episode 100. We played a game and it failed to recognize that Dollman has a space gun and he would have killed that stupid fucking porcelain doll. You stupid bitch.
It's true because please, it was my directorial debut. Let's not be too harsh, okay? I worked really hard on this movie that I found on BuzzFeed. Okay.
I should have just been Lestat, then I would have won. Like, there's no way. Doll can't kill Lestat.
I did tell you to pick your characters, okay? All right, and Mel chose herself, and you chose Grandpa Highcock, okay? So whose fault is this?
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Those were really great. Those are really great final thoughts, you guys. I really enjoyed. So while you wait patiently for me to finish the series, you can follow this podcast on the interwebs at ghostinthemagazine.site or on Twitter at GITM Podcast. And you can find me on Twitter at WitchXPudding.
You can find me at Nocturnical.
Find me at Bad Pimp. Bad Ben Pimp 69. Damn it.
Hey, okay, bye.